Hi, this is Lunartic's Tarot with a love reading for Leo season. I'm really excited to do a love reading finally, and I think I will continue doing these with each sign's season. So I'll do one for Virgo season and so on and so forth. And right now what I'm doing is drawing 6 groups of cards, and I will then top each one with a different stone. And if you've found this recording and you like this type where you get to choose your own reading, then you can pick one of the stones that call to you or one of the piles that call to you, and we'll see what your love note says. I imagine that these love notes will be from a significant someone in your life who you are thinking about a lot. They're in your thoughts and or dreams a lot. So possibly someone that you cannot get off your mind, like a crush or love interest. It could be from your current partner, or someone you're missing, or even someone who you haven't met yet that you're hoping to meet. It doesn't have to necessarily be about a romantic love, though. It could just be someone you love or miss very much who can't or won't communicate this message to you for whatever reason. Also, you are obviously free to choose more than one stone, more than one pile, especially if more than one calls to you. Why not? And the way this is going to work, info about all of these decks that I'm using will be in the description of the video below. And so each reading here will have just 4 cards. I'm going to use the Deviant Moon tarot card to represent how they view you. I'm going to use the Dreams of Gaia tarot to tell us how they're feeling toward you. And the Chrysalis tarot deck will tell us what they want with you, what they actually want to manifest, not just how they're feeling, not just how they see you, but what relationship or interaction or connection they actually want to develop or are hoping develops. And finally, we'll use the Radiant Rider-Waite tarot deck here to indicate why you're finding the message here, why you are hearing this message from them in a reading, from me, from a reader, instead of directly from them, right? So I just need to get that last one for all of the decks, and I suppose I can go ahead and let you watch this fall out. All right. Maybe what we'll do actually is cut here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I feel called to look at the bottom of this deck. 7 of Swords. Okay, I'm going to use the Rose Quartz for pile 1, the Tiger's Eye for pile 2, my emerald for the third pile. The fourth will be Citrine. Now these two are I'm less certain about. I think this is Sodalite. Sodalite, I'm pretty sure, will be the fifth pile. And this, according to my crystal book, looks like a cherry opal, but I'm not certain. It's pretty hot pink. So whichever one of those calls to you, rose quartz, tiger's eye, emerald, citrine, sodalite, possibly a cherry opal. I don't like the Seven of Swords on the bottom of this deck. Now I feel like I should look at the rest of the bottom of the deck. We've got the Queen of Wands. The Seven of Air. And the Seven of Stones. 7, 7, 7. I'm glad I looked at that. 7, 7, 7, and the Queen of Wands. And I don't 777 to me is just synchronicities, signs that we're on the right path. I'm not the best at numerology yet. I don't know them all offhand, but that might be something for you to look up. 777. That's a very spiritual number to me. What I actually see here in the meanings of these, we've got a mature feminine fire sign. The Seven of Air is the Seven of Swords in the original, you know, or in, you know, my tarot definitions, so to speak. And then the Seven of Stones would be the Seven of Pentacles. So there's an underlying energy of someone trying to run away from something. It could be because it's a liar, a thief, someone committing a crime of sorts, but it can just be someone, you know, running away from their darker sides or running away from the relationship, possibly sneaking away. The Seven of Stones can be, to me, a success that's just not quite what you thought it would be. And the Queen of Wands, you know, she has a fiery temperament. She's intense and passionate, but beautiful and vital. So I want to say, in general, we're talking about passionate interactions, relationships. Again, doesn't have to be romantic, where someone is fleeing, avoiding, running away. And I mean, that could make sense for why you're getting the message this way instead of directly from them. And maybe they're not actually running away from you, but they are just avoiding this conversation. They're avoiding this message for some reason. I'm not sure if that will resonate with all of them or not, but we'll get started and see. I need to get these out of my way again first, though. Well, no. I almost want to remember what they were. Okay, so I will timestamp all of this so it's easier. We'll start with pile 1, which is the rose quartz. And I'll slide all these out of our way. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, just barely. So, the rose quartz. Let's see. They see you as a hermit. Their feelings towards you are the destiny card. They believe that this interaction, I want to say this relationship, is destined, is fated. They feel like you are their future. The Seven of Spirals, but reversed. That's the Seven of Wands reversed. And that is crazy because I keep my Chrysalis Tarot deck upright. They should all be coming out upright. Yeah. Simply because I read that deck upright because the way that the author has constructed the guide booklet is that there are only upright descriptions, and it's a deck that I can see both the upright and reverse meaning just looking at the card upright. The yin and the yang, the good and the bad come with this deck always. You consider the whole thing. That's just how I read it. But because I keep it upright all the time, when one of them somehow flips themselves around, I definitely take that into consideration. So what they actually want with you, the Seven of Wands reversed, is... Did I say I take it really seriously? Not too seriously. The Seven of Wands reversed is someone possibly doubting themselves, wanting for self-control or confidence. I'm not sure how that's what they want with you, that's what they want the relationship to be like. Oh, okay, lacking in self-control, lacking in... I think they feel like one or both of you is trying to control the relationship or the situation too much. Especially because the Hermit card here is Virgo energy. So, and that's how they're seeing you. But also the Hermit energy is, they see you as avoiding people, avoiding going out right now. You're in a period of self-reflection. You're staying to yourself, you're examining your life, healing possibly, you're just enjoying solitude. But they feel like, again, this is destined, this is meant to be, it's fated, eventually you're supposed to be part of their future. Now I'm not saying you are, but they feel like you are. They see their future in your eyes, sort of thing. You match the picture of what they wanted in their future. I think this is someone who has thoughts, not necessarily plans, but thoughts of building something together, possibly a family, possibly, but building something together. And I think they see only you. You know, they think you're their destiny. They're willing to wait if you're going through a period of solitude, and there's no one else in the picture in either. What they actually want is for the situation to be less controlled. Maybe it's not even the two of you or either of you who are controlling it. It could be controlled because of circumstances, people outside of the relationship. Sometimes jobs interfere, right? Families interfere. There's also, you know, this could possibly be saying, one way I could interpret it is that they're wanting you to doubt yourself for some reason. But it just doesn't really fit. I guess it actually isn't impossible for some. I think for most people who chose the rose quartz, it's that they want it to be less controlled. Whether it's you, them, or someone else controlling it, they're wanting it to be less controlled, or for you to let yourself lose control with them because they want to be with you. But for some, it could be that you're targeted, you're already isolated, and they're hoping to make you doubt yourself. It seems like it doesn't make sense with the Destiny card. It's just such a beautiful, nice, lovely card, but there are people out there who can see it that way and still believe that that's your destiny, that you're meant to be theirs. I know that's just awful, but that's just for a few. I think, again, most who chose the rose quartz, it's the idea that because you are their future and they see only you in their future, they want the situation to be freer, easier, less controlled. Maybe you're putting your best foot forward around them, or holding back, or nervous, and they just want it to be freer. I think that's generally for most. And then the Queen of Wands is explaining to us why you're receiving the message this way. So, here she is again. Here she is again. We got her on the bottom of the Deviant Moon Tarot deck as well. So I'll repeat what I said. Fiery temperament, intense, passionate, beautiful, vital. Like her male counterpart, she too can call on the elements and is close to nature, is very bold, often comes off as fearless. Yeah, so I actually think it's likely that they're intimidated by you. They're intimidated by you. They find you very beautiful. You have an intense energy that's difficult for them to match, but they want to. And I think the control aspect is you controlling how often they get to see you and spend time with you, because you're in a period of healing and solitude and going within. And I think maybe that's where that other message came from when I said it's possible that they want to see you doubt yourself. They see that you're isolated, and then if you doubt yourself, they feel like they can get in with you, get a chance with you, and maybe impose their control. I think the only reason that came through is because you might be fearing that. It's tricky, right? You have to bring your discernment to the table with us, because it's slightly different for everyone, of course, but the message that's radiating up strongest at me is you're healing from a situation that was possibly like the negative one I described, or some type of heartbreak you've gone through. You're, in any case, in solitude. Maybe just need a break from people, relationships. And so you're controlling how often you see them, how close you let them to you, how much of yourself you let them see. And yet they love everything that they know, or they really like everything that they do know. Again, they think you're very beautiful, and I think that's inside and out. And they want to get closer. They want you to be freer. They want you to let them in a little more, because they feel like at this time, right now, they feel like you're meant to be together. You're supposed to be part of their future. So that's the first stack. That's for rose quartz. And we'll move on to tiger's eye. The lovers. They see you as a lover. This could be saying that they see you as a choice, but I'm feeling that they see you as their lover. Death and rebirth represents, wow, okay. The Knight of Spirals, the Knight of Wands is reversed as well. Huh. Okay. Did I do that across the board or no? Death and rebirth represents how they are feeling towards you. So I think this is someone that you've been with, that you've been a lover with, and it's either time for a renewal just because it's time to spice things up, mix things up, or you've actually separated, had a breakup, and you're reconciling, death and then rebirth, right? Here's this cute little frog in this picture. If you can see him, reminding us of self-love as well. That's definitely something that needs to come into the picture here. If it's a breakup and to get back together, or if it's a relationship that's grown a little stale, for lack of a better word there, either way, I think self-love is a prominent issue with why. And there's also there's another snake here biting him. And normally I see that as a potentially negative thing in the Deviant Moon Tarot, but right now I really feel like this is saying they see you as their lover, and with both snakes showing up, the animals are just really talking to me. I think one or both of you feel really lucky to have another chance together, or to just have one another still. Lucky that both of you want to renew this. But again, self-love is relevant, is something that has to be maintained as well. What you each do for your individual selves. And then with the Knight of Wands in reverse, I'll let you take a look at him as well. This card is telling us what they'd like to build with you. And in reverse, it says, indicates someone who's possibly unreliable, has a tendency to flee, like the Seven of Swords that popped up. It can be someone who feels alienated. Now that's me reading it the way I read the Knight of Wands reversed. I think they want to flee with you. I think they feel like the two of you need to get away, because upright, this can be attracting kindred spirits, attracting like minds. And if you two have a need to renew a relationship or trying to get back together after a breakup, they don't feel like, right now, they don't feel like you need the outside influences. Even if they're good influences, they're friends, they feel like the two of you need to take flight together. Even if it means falling through on some other commitments, falling through on seeming unreliable to other people. That might be an indication of how important they think this renewal is, how serious they think you need to take the fact that the relationship needs rejuvenated, or the fact that it needs to start up again. They're thinking, we need to take a vacation together, we need to get away, we need to at least have a staycation and prioritize us and put our friends and whatever else off for the time being. And that could also be the self-love that's showing up here, right? I mean, if one or both of you does a lot for other people or a lot for your job, etc., it's, you know, self-love to make time for your relationship too. It's if you view the two of you as one, or are trying to get to that point, it's self-love on both of your parts to prioritize mending and tending to that relationship. And I think that's where their headspace is at with that. And then the Six of Wands is victory. This indicates what their reason is from their point of view for not speaking this message directly to you, for why you're having to hear it here. It can be recognition, it can be praise, it can be someone who's changed after a battle, someone who's being humble. So I think, sorry. I think they're hoping that you recognize that on your own. They're wanting you to see what they do, that this needs prioritized, how important it is that the two of you take time away from everything else and make this the most important thing for a little while. In fact, I think that they need you to also recognize that. It can't just be them. And if it's a situation where you've broken up and you're considering getting back together, I think it depends on that. Okay? If you see what I'm saying, I think whether or not this renewal, no, not the renewal, this reconciliation is successful is dependent on whether or not you two prioritize this and whether or not you recognize how important it is and actually take the action with them to get away from everything and everybody, even if it's a staycay situation, to make this happen. They feel like it's going to take time and effort, and even if it's a renewal, they feel like it's something that deserves some time and extra effort. But they need you to recognize it too. Like they're not I don't think they're trying to play a game. They're not trying to make you read their mind. You know, it's not a game. It's precisely because this is not a game to them that they need to know that you recognize how important it is too. They want this renewal and rebirth. They see you as their lover. It's just going to be, again, if it's a breakup and makeup situation, it's going to be dependent on whether or not you both recognize how important it is and choose to prioritize it. So that is the Tiger's Eye. Now on to the Emerald Ring. The Ten of Pentacles is how they see you. They feel like you're successful, probably financially successful. They feel like you're secure, you're comfortable. Now that could mean you're a comfortable choice to them, but it could also mean that you're comfortable in your station in life with how much money you make or the skills that you have to take out into the world and apply to your career, making your income, gathering your resources. They see you as someone who has and owns a lot, even if you're not financially well off. They see you as someone who's mastered a lot of skills, then someone who has a lot going for them, basically. And they see that you have worked hard for becoming that. I really think this is an indication that they do admire you. And then you've got the King of Fire showing up as how they feel about you. So that's the King of Wands. Show you this one. And possibly an entrepreneur, someone bold and fearless, someone who can call on the elements, close to nature, someone very charming and social. You make them feel like this, okay? You make them feel like the King of Fire. They're really attracted to, I don't think it's just, well, it is your wealth, but it's the fact that you worked hard and earned it and are maintaining it. And it pushes them outside of their comfort zone to try to match you, to try to be what they hope you want, what they hope you will notice and respond well to. So they're on fire about you. They're on fire for this. This is how they feel towards you. I do. I think you bring out, I almost want to say the best in them, but it's certainly qualities that they like about them. They like that they feel fearless and bold, and ready to socialize and charm the pants off of you if that's what needs be. They're feeling like you're the type of person who wants that type of partner, if it's a romantic situation, but they think that's what is called for. And that makes sense, you know, someone who's very successful, who's mastered their skills and mastered their trade and has their resources on lockdown. They know where their income is coming from, and it's all theirs. You're the master of your trade and home and life. of course, they feel like they have to be bold to step up to someone like that. You make them feel capable of it, like it's worth it. Like they can do it. I really get the sense that this person is actually stepping outside of their comfort zone to embody the King of Fire. And they're so inspired by how capable they think you are. That it's given them the ability to step into those shoes, those fiery shoes. And then what they actually want with you is the Three of Stones. So this also looks like a business partnership too. Like they want to have a meeting. They want to go in on whatever work you're doing with you. And it could be both. It could be a potential partner who also wants to go into business with you. But in any case, it looks like you have a work that you love to do. Joyful work, playful work, collaborative work, work that you love doing so much you don't notice the time passing, right? And they want to help you with it, join you in it, at least talk to you about it. So maybe it's a partner that you've been with for a while, but you've always kept your work life or projects separate. And they're hoping that now they're showing you the side of themselves that can hang in your work world. Not even necessarily that they want to go into business with you, maybe, but they just want to be included. They want to talk to you about it. They want to know what you're doing. Whether it's someone you've been in a relationship with for a while or not. This person is looking to collaborate. To, just sit in on a creative session with you, maybe be allowed to see behind the red curtain what goes on at rehearsal, sort of thing. They want to, see how you do what you do. They admire what you've built for yourself, and they want to see the part of it that you love. No wonder they're willing to be bold and charming and step out of their comfort zone and embody this fearless entrepreneur-like energy for you, because they not only see you as someone who has built their empire and figured out how to maintain it, but it looks like you're someone who's built it around a work you also love to do. So they admire that so much, the fact that you found a way to take what you love to do and make a good living off of it, basically. So they're ready to step up and meet you there. Of course, that makes sense. And then the Five of Wands in reverse is normally for me patience, conflict ending, or conflict being avoided, someone being calm, peaceful resolution, finding a peaceful resolution. It can be play. So they're not telling you this message directly, probably because they're trying to be patient. So if this is a potential business partner or a potential love interest or both, they're being patient and waiting for you to notice that they've stepped up in this way to match you, to meet you, to try to be included in your work life, or just see what's going on with it, or be allowed to see the magic that happens behind closed doors. They don't want to push you. You're probably busy, first of all. They don't want to push for this. They just want you to notice that they're willing and more than capable of being part of that world with you. It potentially is a discussion that you've had before, and you've kind of closed the door on this and pushed them away from this part of your life for whatever reason. And so they're trying to keep the peace in that case. They're not going to broach the subject. They're just going to show you who they can be for you, and be patient and calm. Avoid any conflict that could potentially lead to if that's the case. And yeah, even if it's a partner that you've had for a while, same thing. They respect you, and they respect that work, and they respect what you've built. And they're not going to try to push. Whether they're a newcomer or someone you've been with for a while, they're just going to show you that they're not afraid to be part of that side of you, to see that world that you haven't let them into yet, that they can be a good addition to it. The King of Fire, I mean, he's so creative and passionate and has really great ideas that he often has trouble grounding, which is another reason that they would really admire your ability to build something around what you love to do. I mean, this person, this energy probably has tons of ideas, and possibly they've built their own work the same way. But there's someone who has a tendency to have trouble grounding the ideas that they're very passionate about. So whether or not they've managed to master that themselves, and they very well may have, showing up in the upright as the King of Fire, they still greatly admire someone who has clearly grounded that passion. Maybe they want to share in your work so they can see how they can better do that, because like I said, the King of Fire will shoot off great ideas and then have some trouble bringing it bringing it into reality. Yeah. I actually think it would be a good idea for the two of you to work together. I can see it being definitely a great partnership. If you've got the ability to ground the project and make the money, and they've got these fiery, artistic, creative ideas, and you both may bring both sides of that to the table, but either way, that sounds like a really good partnership, a really effective partnership. Especially if you are working with one other person, since there are these three owls and our Three of Pentacles having their little meeting, and here are his creative ideas sitting in the center of you. If you're already working with another person, I do think that this King of Fire is saying that they want to be the third party in that picture. They want to join the group. But again, just like with the last act, they're not going to push. They're not going to push. They're going to wait for you to see that they're capable of being there. Wait for you to realize maybe that you want them there. So that's 3, and then I said 4 was Citrine. We've got the 10 of Cups, the 2 of Earth, I'm almost certain, the 5 of Spirals, and the Hanged Man. So they see you as the 10 of Cups. They see a happy home, maybe a marriage, shared fulfillment. They either see that you're already in that situation, or they picture you in that situation with them. The first message I'm getting here is that they see that you're already in a partnership, and it looks like a happy home. Again, if it's not a marriage, it's like one. You live together, you maybe have a family together, you seem like a married couple. And how they feel toward you is that well, there are multiple messages, but there's one where you're already with someone, and they know that, and they feel like you're juggling them and this other person, and they want to have it out. They want to have essentially an argument about it. I mean, they want to have a discussion about it, a communication about it, but they know it's going to be an argument. Now, that's just for some who have chosen the citrine pile. And in that case, the reason that they're not speaking up and saying something about it is because they feel kind of stuck. But at the same time, they're okay with leaving you to that, because if you're juggling two people, if you're already in something and you're juggling them with someone else, they realize that if you break up with this other person and choose them, so to speak, that they very well may be the next person who finds you're juggling someone else outside the relationship, right? In that case, I think they maybe have just found out that there's someone else already. Now, for others, you're not actually seeing two people. You're just thinking about this other person. But they see that you're already in a happy home. And I think in that case, this is them weighing out the pros and cons of speaking up and saying something about how they too feel about you, although you're already in another relationship that appears happy, content, loving, fulfilling, supportive. Still, they're hoping for some sort of, not fight, but some sort of passionate discussion, something that will probably be a disagreement, but probably because they're trying to they want that because they want to bring this conversation to the surface. They want it to be more they want it to be more than than just a subconscious subtext conversation, even though they see that you're with someone else. Now, for others, they see you as in a happy, fulfilled, shared home because they're in it with you. And they too feel like you're juggling too many things. I don't think that they think you're juggling someone outside the relationship, though. Possibly, but they could possibly fear that. But I think they just feel like one or both of you is juggling a lot. You know, you have this happy home, you really love each other. And maybe they feel like, you know, you bring a good balance to one another with the Two of Earth here. Like, it's a lot for you all to balance, for you all to juggle together, kids, home, work, etc. But that you do it. You complement each other well, and you're able to balance well. They see you juggling a lot, maybe themselves too, but I think in this case, it's a good thing. And in that scenario, the Five of Wands or the Five of Spirals here, to me, says they want to face your all's shadow sides together. They want to face the dark aspects of the relationship together. Oh, wow. I wish I had started with this message. I am instantly almost near tears because I feel this so strongly, and it's so sweet. It's so sweet. They're so happy and balanced and fulfilled with you that they think that you're ready to take on your demons together. They're ready to face the dark parts of one another together. And in that case, the only reason that you're not getting the message directly from them and you're finding it here is just because they are at peace. You know, they're ready for that. They're ready for the two of you to dig into anything ugly that needs unearthed and healed. But they're just not rocking the boat because you guys are at peace. And they do have this fresh perspective where they've reached this point in a relationship with someone where they know they're ready to do that. They know they're ready to dig in to the you know, the ick. They're ready to get in there with you and address what needs to be addressed. But they're not going to bring that up when everything's fine. They're not going to try to cause problems. They've just seen some of your darkness, seen some of their own. They've just seen enough to know that it doesn't change. It doesn't change how much they love you. It doesn't change the balance, the complementary, the compliment that you bring to each other. And they're just not saying anything because they know they're ready to face that when it comes. It's a really, really beautiful. That's one of the most beautiful feelings I think I've ever had doing a tarot message, bringing a tarot message forth. That is lovely. I'm really happy for those of you that resonated with. So this one is actually mine. This is the pile I had chosen. I didn't voice that out loud, but I'm playing along with you. I went with blue and white because I'm all in blue and white. So we've got the Eight of Wands reversed. So this is how they see you. This is how they see us. They see us as moving very slowly, maybe even being a little restless. Just slow movement. Slow movement. We're taking our time right now. Now, again, that's not to say that we are. That's how they see us. They think that we're moving slowly, we're taking our time. possibly so slowly that we're just waiting. Maybe they may think that we are waiting on them. That's not good. The Queen of Water. This is so beautiful. I just keep showing you the dreams of Gaia, but I just can't help it. The Queen of Wands, or I'm sorry, the Queen of Cups, this would be the Queen of Water, is empathetic. She feels her way through life. She's very insightful, often represents a mystic. This is how they feel towards us. So that's great. They're feeling empathy for us. They're able to put themselves in our shoes. We may be moving slowly, we may be still. But they feel a mature feminine energy toward us. This insightful mystic, I think, can see right through us. So they have, they have an affection for us. They have this watery card tells me that it's a caring, loving, and it's upright. It's a caring, loving feeling, again, empathetic, that they have toward us. But I also think they're very insightful, and again, can probably maybe see right through us, and that might be why they know that we're just waiting on them. Possibly in spite of our best efforts to pretend like we're not. Possibly in spite of our best efforts to not be waiting. That can happen. We don't mean to be, we don't want to be, we've tried to move on, but some part of you sometimes will just sit there and think, I just really wish that this would work out, especially if it's a romantic relationship. And then the way that they, or what it is that they actually want to build with you or with us is the Nine of Stones. Now, the Nine of Pentacles normally, to me, talks about independence. It's also about abundance, gratitude, appreciation, wealth, being in a space where soon you will be ready for a family. Soon you will be at the Ten of Stones or the Ten of Pentacles and actually be ready for a family. But in the meantime, this woman is normally just appreciating all that she has on her own, showing gratitude for every little thing, but is very independent, which makes me think that they're not wanting something with us right now. They want us each to remain independent. They want us to remain independent of each other, probably. I mean, they can't control us remaining independent, right? But they want us to remain independent of one another for the time being. And again, I think they're experiencing real empathy for us. But that is exactly what allows them to see straight through to the part of us that is still just sort of waiting on them. And honestly, I think it is the fact that they sense that we're waiting on them that makes them want to remain independent of us, which is just awesome. And the reason they're not communicating any of that to us is because they feel trapped in their own mind when it comes to thoughts about us, and or are completely blind to something about the situation. So it's quite, I mean, it looks like they have themselves trapped, and they're in to some extent, some sort of victim mentality. So it looks to me like they're very empathetic and insightful and can see straight through to the core of us, even the parts that we are trying to deny and trying to hide, like the part that's just sitting waiting for someone and doesn't want to be or mean to be, and yet they can't see themselves clearly. It's likely that it's a two-way street. We can see them clearly and they can see us clearly, and we're having trouble with ourselves. It seems like we're just having trouble with wanting to move a little quicker than we are. Maybe in getting over them, maybe in getting back with them. There's a couple different scenarios here too. But I think, we're just struggling with ourselves in the sense of, we do have 88 here, though. But I think we're struggling with being still and maybe, again, trying to deny that part that's just waiting on someone and or hide it. And they have themselves feeling trapped, like they can't communicate what it is that they want with us to us. Maybe don't want to hurt us by directly communicating that they just want to be independent. I really think that's what it is, because in this Nine of Stones, her back's to us and she's, looking off. It could be interpreted another way. It could be, they see that we want to take things very slowly and they're okay with that because they're being very empathetic toward us. They do understand. And so what they want is to keep the distance and remain independent to a certain extent for us because we seem to be wanting to move slow. And in that case, they're just the thoughts in that case that they're trapped by well, like I said, this isn't necessarily how we are. This is how they see us. So in that case, the thoughts that they're trapped by they're creating that construct. They're creating this idea that we are still or still waiting on them or wanting to take things very slow. And it's not the case. It's not true. They've created that, and especially if it's that they think we want to take things slow, they've got themselves trapped. They feel like they can't approach us. They feel like they can't want something more than the two of us to be independent because they've convinced themselves that that's not what we want, that we're not ready. But that's just how they're seeing us, and they might not be seeing us clearly, and so that's why it's a self-imposed trap. It's their own limiting beliefs. So there are a few different messages there. Most clearly, the strongest message is, and I do think you might want to look up 88. I'd like to remember to do that. I wish I had something to jot that down with. I'll probably remember. Oh, here, I'll put it here. Well, no, that's fine. My computer won't cooperate. No worries. Anyway, I'm sorry. So, the message that's most clear to me, though, is that they do see through us. They are insightful enough to recognize that there's a part of us that's just waiting for them, or waiting on someone else for some of you. And that's what they believe. It's not necessarily what we're doing, but they are very insightful. They are very empathetic, and they sense that we're waiting on someone. And maybe they think it's someone else when it's really them. That's possible. For a lot of us, though, and again, the strongest message is that there is some part of us that's waiting. They key in on that, and that's making them want to remain independent from us. And that's a trap that they're setting for themselves, because they'd like to be with us too. And it's knowing that we're waiting on them is making them feel, for some reason, like independence needs to remain. And it's like their way of, I don't want to say hurting us both, but they're limiting themselves in that way. They're holding back. They're not coming forward with what they want, what they see, how they see us. This is probably someone who wants what they can't have. Honestly, this is probably someone who would be more, that's what they've got themselves bound up with. They would be more likely to come toward us if it looked like we were speeding away from them. And because we seem to be still, I know this is facing me. I can't believe I didn't turn any of these around for you all. But because so that's for you to look at then. Because we seem to be waiting on them instead of speeding away from them, because they can see that very clearly, even though they do have these tender, loving feelings toward us, just knowing that we're waiting is like a turnoff. And even just sensing that a part of us is. And so they're keeping themselves bound up by that, not only with us, but in life with any romantic partner or anything else, that mindset of always wanting what you can't have. And it's like knowing that we're an option, knowing that they could have us if they wanted us, gives them the freedom to go off and be independent. Like, well, she'll be there or he'll be there, right? I do. I think that's what most people who chose the what did I say? Sodalite. Yeah, I think most of us who chose that are dealing with someone who wants what they can't have, who does have affection for us. They do care. They're exercising the empathy that's allowing them to see through us because they care. If they're the type who wants what they can't have, they probably, they're probably learning to improve their empathy as we speak, and maybe a lot because of us. But in doing so, and in gaining those insights, it reveals that we don't need to be tended to right now because we'll probably be there. And so independence looks like the best choice. Maybe even looking around to see what whom their other options are, possibly. And again, it's a trap that they've set for themselves. I mean, they'll go round and round with not only us, but anyone else because of that tendency. What's around the next bend? What's waiting in the horizon? Just always looking for the next. Like they've caught us, now who else? It's not for all, but yeah, for most, I think we're dealing with someone who does care about us, but it's just the type who wants what they can't have. And you know, some people know how to work with that. I do not know how to work with that. I don't know how to maintain or continue to be something that someone can't have while trying to be with them, right? So the cherry opal is next. But some people do. Some of you may know how to navigate those waters. Now for the cherry opal, they see you as the high priestess. So possibly they think that you're keeping secrets. Maybe keeping secrets, maybe just very intuitive, very wise. Maybe they know you have psychic abilities. And then you have the Three of Earth as how they feel towards you. So, I'm sorry, my mind is still reeling about the last stone, the last reading there. Okay, so the Three of Pentacles, joyful, again, joyful work, a business meeting, a playful collaboration, normally work that you love doing. You can tell that he loves doing this work, right? So I think they know that I think it's all the above. I think they know that you're a very wise and intuitive person, but they also think that you've decided to keep some secrets from them. And that's not necessarily to say that you're lying. It's just that you're keeping some things close to the chest, that you're not sharing everything about yourself. And they are willing, they love to do the work of finding you out. They love to do the work of getting you to open those arms up to them and let them in and reveal more of your true self to them. What they're hoping for, what the interaction, relationship, connection that they're hoping to actually have with you, what they really want is the Four of Wands, the Four of Spirals in this deck. But the Four of Wands is, to me, a grounded, happy, comfortable home and family life. They're willing to do the work to get past whatever walls you've built up, whatever secrets you're keeping, to get to that point with you. Which is also really beautiful. And I think it's because they think you're very intuitive and very wise. So they sense that you're keeping things, but they know that you're too wise to be keeping shady things like cheating or going behind their back in some way. As a wise, intuitive person, as someone that they see that way, they probably think or assume that you're doing it for good reasons, that you have your reasons, that you maybe have been hurt and so are being protective, and they understand that, or you know, you're just being smart, you're just being cautious. Maybe you haven't known them long, or even if you have, there are just certain things that they don't necessarily need to be shared. Not all couples are that way, not everyone agrees with that, but they respect that choice of yours. And again, they love doing the work of showing you that it's safe to open up to them. It's safe to share everything, or, you know, all that the two of you need to in order to build a happy life, a happy home together. And they're not speaking up about it because they aren't their secrets to speak up about. You know what I mean? The Page of Swords is someone who speaks up with a probably a difficult truth or a message, someone who's taking something head on. I'll spin this around for you. And it can, you know, it can be a harsh message. It can be hard, difficult communication. And if they were to say to you, hey, I know you're keeping things from me, you know, I can't wait for us to get past that so that we can have a future together, so that we can build a life, a home, whatever, you probably wouldn't take that well. You would probably, they think that would be too harsh, that would be pushing too hard. This is the third one where the person is willing to not push. So yeah, yeah, that's definitely what I see. They're not, they're just not speaking up, honestly, because there's nothing to speak up about. Like, this is someone who definitely would speak up if there was something to speak up about, but there isn't, because they're your secrets, and they're doing the work to show you that they are someone you can share them with if you want to. And they expect you to. They expect that you will notice that. So that's the other reason the Page of Swords is the reason why they're not speaking up, because they see that you will. They know they don't need to. They know it would just be pushing if they did, and they know that you will speak up eventually. They have faith that they're going to be successful in their work of showing you who they are, that they're someone that you can share yourself with, all of yourself with. And they have so much faith in it that they're allowing themselves to have hope for this picture of this comfortable, happy, grounded home and family life with you. That's beautiful. That too is beautiful. Most of these have been really, really positive. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will try to do, like I said, one for every season. That just got me really emotional. I got really, really in touch with just about cried for one of them. Not the one that was for me, but just a lot of really beautiful messages. So thank you so much for checking out Lunatics Tarot, checking out the reading. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it. And I will be back with August readings for you all very soon. I love you.